Thank you so much for stopping by my channel, 521 Investments, Wealth Builders. On my last video, I was discussing starting from little and experiencing more. Starting from little and experiencing more. And I want to continue on that about starting from little and experiencing more, or experiencing a promotion, some type of increase in my financial situation. You might say, oh, I'm not experiencing anything. We're going through a recession, and we may be in a recession when we're going through a recession. But you should always have the mindset of experiencing more. And that normally comes from a promotion or some type of increase. Because remember, my financial situation can always change. So stay positive. But getting back to this video, when I experience a promotion or some type of increase, should I consume more or should I spend more? What should I do? When I get that promotion, some type of increase, maybe a bonus, what should I do? Should I consume more or should I spend more or should I establish some type of financial goals for myself or my family? I shouldn't always have the mindset of just spending and spending and spending and spending. And here in the USA, our economy is driven by consumers. And you always see and hear on TV, not so much saving and investing, it's about being a consumer. Spend, spend, spend. And we're coming up on a holiday season, Christmas, which is only a few months away. And there's nothing wrong with spending, and I think you should. But I shouldn't always be a consumer. I shouldn't always spend. I should establish goals. And now, let's define what goals are and what objectives are. The goal is the outcome you're trying to get. And an objective is the way you measure an action that can be reached in a short amount of time. And they are often related to a goal, so they work hand in hand. Now, there can be short-term goals, which can be from 1 month to a year, medium-term goals, which can be from 1 year to 5 years, and then there are long-term goals, which can be from 5 years to 10 years. And always remember that the outcome, and that's what you're trying to get from that goal, the outcome involves time. And time is what many of us struggle with. And I know I did, time, because I always wanted it now. I wanted it yesterday. I gotta have it. 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 I see it and I gotta have it. But goals always involve time. And objectives are the individual actions that you need to get to that goal. So I can have a goal, but I have to have some type of action that I must participate in to get to that goal. It can be individual or it can be in a group, but there is something I have to do or the group has to do to get to that goal. Now, there is a biblical saying that says, what does it profit for anyone to say they have faith and not the works to back it up? So also, faith, if it does not have works or deeds and action to back up what they say, it is by itself destitute of power or dead. Now, what it doesn't profit you or me to say I'm going to do something and never do it or never follow through. I can say it, and you hear a lot today of people saying speak things into existence, which I believe you can do that. But to speak something into existence, I must have some type of action or objective of what I'm trying to bring into existence. So if I'm trying to reach some short term, medium term, or long term goal, I can see it that goal off in the distance. I have to have some type of action to back up what I'm saying. I just can't sit on a seat or do nothing and expect that goal to manifest of what I'm saying, and I'm not doing anything. And the scripture said, is dead or destitute of power. There is nothing backing it up. I've been saying and saying things for years and nothing manifests because there's nothing backing it up. There's nothing I'm doing. There's nothing the group doing to back up what I'm saying and trying to go or become or do. Now, I've heard many people say, and you may have too, I want to be rich. I want to be debt free. I want to have that dream house. I want that dream job. I want that private jet. I want to live off the grid. I want to have the perfect husband. I want that perfect wife. I want good health. All these things are good confession to have, but there's always something you and I have to do to cause that to manifest. In all of these things, there is time to get to being debt free, being rich, living off the grid, having that jet, good health, the perfect husband, perfect wife. They all involve a degree of time. And you can only get them if there is some type of action. And if you come from very little, it might seem as though it's impossible. But I'm here to tell you it is possible. It may be difficult, but it's not impossible. Now, I want to cover 5 things to help with your goals and objective. Number 1, be specific. We must be clear and not vague on what we say. We must be clear and vague on what we say. Other words, what you say and I say, I must understand. I must understand what I'm saying, whether I'm speaking that to my family, I'm speaking that to some type of group. I must be clear and not vague, or my goals must not be generalized, which are unhelpful because generalized goals does not provide sufficient direction. Generalized goals does not provide sufficient direction where you and I want to go. Also, when you're first starting off from little, do not make goals that are too big in the beginning. Example, I want that big house. I want that expensive car. I want that $20,000 Rolex watch. I know I heard it, and I probably said it too. The big house, the big car, the nice clothes, the nice watch. But What I'm saying must not be generalized. It got to be specific. Or should I start off with small goals and then work my way towards the bigger goals? Especially if I want the house, the cars, to close, but my income is not ready for the responsibility that comes with these things. And see, that's what gets a lot of people in trouble. We see athletes, we see celebrities, we see influencers, and a lot of them are wealthy, but we don't have the income to back up what we see they got and we want it. So we see stuff, we want to live in a house, and we know we don't have the income right now. And I'm not saying you're going to ever get that income to live in that dream house, because I want you to live in it. I want to live in that dream car. But if my income is not sufficient for that goal now, what should I do? If my income is not sufficient for that goal, other words, my goal may be too big in the beginning, but I'm not saying you shouldn't have a big goal. That's not what I'm saying. If my income won't support that, why in the world would I try? Why would I want to go through stress? And let's say living in a house and my monthly mortgage or my rent is $1,500 to $2,000, and I'm only making $3,000 a month. Why in the world would I want that? And I'm not accounting for electric, food, and other things. And I'm stressed out. So, wouldn't it be wise to first start off, especially when you're starting from little, to have little goals and work your way towards the larger goals? Number two, goals must be measurable. Other words, we want to track our progress and stay motivated. So when you're advancing towards your goals, you want to keep track, and it's good to write things down. And I know we have all type of different apps and things today, but my point is write it down so we can track our progress and know whether we are headed in the right direction. And the key thing is to stay motivated, because motivation is the driving force. Other words, it is hard to obtain a short term, medium term, a large term goal if there is nothing driving us. What is the force that's pushing us towards that goal? And it's motivation. And motivation is a mental force. That's the mental force that pushes you towards that goal, to achieve the short-term goal, the medium-term goal, and eventually the long-term goal is motivation. We must assess our progress, which helps us also to stay focused. So we need the driving force of motivation, and we need to stay focused, because focus helps us from wrong distractions. Focus helps us from wrong distractions, because on this journey towards getting those goals accomplished and experiencing those goals being accomplished, there's always going to come distractions. And some of the distractions are not the right distraction, they are wrong distractions. And the wrong distraction takes away our focus. And where we don't have focus, we don't see the need from being motivated because there's no driving force. And remember, what I'm talking about is the mindset. So we want to stay away from things that distracts us. So sometimes you might have to what? Turn off the TV, turn off the social media, take out, look at your goals, what you wrote down, and just stay focused. This is where I'm trying to get to. And this is my timeline of getting there. And when we begin to meet those timelines, those deadlines, and we know we are getting closer, we feel the excitement as we get closer. It's exciting. When you write some short-term goal down and you say, oh my God, I'm almost there. It's excitement. But that excitement comes from being motivated. It comes from being focused, not having wrong distractions. And as we're moving along and we're getting closer, we get excited. The further we away from that goal, we don't feel the excitement. But as we begin to move along the journey to get there, we'll feel more excitement. It's going to come. The next thing, it must be attainable. When goals are attainable, they show improvement over our current situation. When goals are attainable, they show the improvement over our current situation. So goals got to be attainable. And they're going to show improvement over our current situation. When you meet that short-term goal and you say, oh, it was attainable. It's showing improvement over your current situation. In other words, at the beginning, when you started from little, you said, there's no way I could do that in 3 to 6 months. But when you obtain it and see it, oh, I did this in 3 months. Oh, I did this within a year. Then I can accomplish my next goal. Now, when goals become obtainable, we may have to mentally stretch. Now, a rubber band, you can see this rubber band, it changes its shape only under force. Now, if you look at this rubber band, it looks normal, but it only changes its shape under force. And you can see I'm stretching. Stretch. And many times I'll say this, when we first start off, because of what we see, we want to stretch to here. And if I'm stretching it here and I'm not mentally ready to stretch like this, it'll feel like I'm going to pop. So I may just have to stretch a little and then continue to stretch and continue to stretch. And when I stretch like this and I begin to reach and experience my goals being met, I guess what? Just like this rubber band, I come back to what? My original shape. So what I have mentally done, and this is my mindset, I begin to say that it's possible for me because I experienced the stretch. And I got here and I thought mentally I was going to pop and break, but I made it and I obtained it. And now I'm back here mentally ready to accomplish my next goal. Now, number 4, it must be relevant. This is where we need to think about the big picture. Always remember this. Goals should move us in the direction of our values, our dreams, and ambitions. Goals should move us in the directions of our values, our dreams, and ambitions. So, goals, think about the big picture. And that goal or goals should move us in the direction of the big picture. And normally, that big picture, it may be 3 years away from us, it may be 2 years away from us, or it may be 10, 15, 20 years. But that it must be relevant and move us in that direction of where we are going. So we got to think about that. Our dreams, our values, our ambitions. Getting back to the dream house, the dream car, the health, whatever it is, it's got to be relevant. And those goals are moving us in that direction, the big picture. And it's exciting as we move in that direction. Number 5, goals must be time-based. Goals need to have specific time limits to get there. Whether it's days, there are weeks, there's months and years. Now, time-based means you got to give it time. You have to give those goals some type of time to get there. I have noticed there's things that I have wrote down, different goals that I have accomplished. Actually, many of them I forgot about it. Then I look, I say, oh man, I wrote this down XYZ years ago, and I've already accomplished. But guess what? It was time-based. It did not happen overnight. See, when we want things to happen overnight, normally, and I just rolled down I-95, and I looked at the Powerball, and the last time I saw it, unless somebody won it, it was 1.5 something billion dollars, or it was $1,050,000,000. And a lot of times, when we see stuff like that, it presents the image, or you can have it right now. And I'm not saying nobody's going to win that, because eventually somebody's going to win. But my point is, we shouldn't have that mentality, because a lot of people have the mentality of a Powerball. You buy a ticket and you expect it. When they have the numbers, they read off the numbers, that you're going to be the winner. Now, somebody's going to win. And I'm not saying you should play Powerball, and I'm not saying you shouldn't. That's your choice, what you want to do. But what I'm saying, that shouldn't be our mindset. Our mindset should be that of having some type of financial goal, and it's leading us towards the big picture. Because getting back to the Powerball mindset, what if you don't win? What if every time you buy a ticket, your number my number never comes up? We always a loser. But how can I be a loser if I set some type of financial goal? I don't live beyond my means. I understand my income, my expense, my debt, my cash flow, which also is involved with my goals. And I understand that. And I look over my life and I say, I'm still moving towards the big picture. I'm still moving in that direction. So always have some type of goals and write it down. Write it down. And when you get to one and experience the excitement, and it's exciting. It actually, and one of the most exciting thing is when you experience debt freedom. When you experience that, there's no greater feeling. When you experience being debt free, and I'm not 100% debt free, but that's the big picture. That's my goal. Is to experience complete debt freedom, where I can live in the best, drive the best, and go first class in life. When I can experience building wealth and then have the freedom of wealth. Other words, I can control my time. I don't have to worry about a job. I don't have to worry about going. I have my assets. I have different things because I have goals set. And now I'm experiencing the rewards of setting those goals, and they're paying for my lifestyle. I can go first class in life. There's nothing wrong with living in the best, driving the best, flying first class, private. Oh, I, I'm all for that. But set some goals and head in that direction. Don't have a Powerball mentality. And there's nothing wrong with that. But don't have the mindset of a Powerball that I'm going to get it. They're going to call my number. But suppose they don't call your number and you buy tickets for 5, 10 years and your number never get called. Think about all those goals you could have set in that time. Or if you do play it, still set goals. And like I said, I'm not against any of that stuff. If you want to play it, play it. That's up to you. But have goals and have objective. Please subscribe to my channel, share, and give a thumbs up so YouTube can push my content to a wider audience. Until we meet again, peace.